Oh, they changed their comp, but it's still the same old Heretics on their same old winning ways. I'm your host, Yinsu, I'm back here with Kaquka. Now, when I saw the comp change, I was not a happy gal, but Kaquka, how the hell did they bring that back to OT and win it?
It's so surprising as well, right? Because we were mentioning they start on the attack, right? They have this double duelist, they can do so many things. Yet Miniboo was not finding the pacing.
Nope.
Time after time, he was going out as the first death. Not only that, they managed to take this to overtime and win it, even though they won. They lost both of the pistols. Like, it's so surprising that they managed to find this kind of pacing onto them. And honestly, it just makes me very happy because I really want to ask them if they win to actually have the chance to ask them, is this something that just happened on the day after you saw the map select? Oh, this was always what you were going to do. Also thinking about the next map and the fact that they haven't played it with now, like we could see everything new
If they play
today.
Reyna on Lotus, I'm leaving. I'm actually just gonna leave the premises. But they've validated all the Reyna lovers out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Icebox wasn't in the pool last year, but the last time we
What
saw
are we doing?
Reyna on Icebox was in EMEA was Leo on Guild Kaquka. So it's been a long time since we've seen
Good
him.
old times.
Yeah.
I miss Guild.
I think that was Bonkar's
I miss
Guild.
Bonker. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
It was probably the match where Bonker got the 4K from behind. Do you remember? I broke the sound barrier that day because what a play. But yeah, I think that we're doing a disservice to the community here because we're kind of showcasing how strong Reyna can be. Surprise, guys, you probably won't be Wood, but in so many cases, he was being so proactive and exactly what he was supposed to come from him. They did not have that many tools to play for the post plant, even to get the spike down in most of the situations. But it doesn't matter because this man, he just kept going time after time. We were talking about, is his performance going to be the same as it was last week? Well, he's definitely feeling himself.
Do you want to have a cheeky guess when the last time we saw a Reyna Icebox win in EMEA was? Obviously, we have one today, but we haven't had that many in the past. So when was the last time? You want a stab in the dark?
When was the last time that we saw it again?
2020 June, Leo on Guild.
Okay, I'm going to say
2022, sorry, June.
February 2022.
It was actually just a little bit after that. It was May, but it was CNED that played it for Ascend against Focus.
What?
Against Focus.
Man, like sometimes it's crazy to just go back down memory
What
lane
was
and think
going on?
about what was going on.
Yeah.
Also, the hood looked terrible back then. Like I'm just thinking in my head about those matches.
Speaking of what's going on, here is Narate here in the AIM Labs warm-up, as Cloud would call him. He had a good game though. He had a good map.
Yeah, I think that for Nare, this is always the constant. He's just reliable. He's consistent. He is the kind of player that you would like to have on your team. Now, we need to think about that second map, right? That Lotus and the nuances of the map, right? We were talking about probably the changes coming in for the side of Heretics since Patatek is not here, but this is the map that they chose to go. And there's so many show-ins of what both of the teams like to do in this map, how they approach it. This is the first map that actually gave us that headline of oh my God, how good are KC on those retakes?
Yeah, this is the thing. Both teams, they're solid here. They have a lot of reps going on.
Yeah.
Here for KC, I think they're pretty happy with their comp. We're not expecting any kind of drastic changes at all. They've been using that comp a lot. But what is the answer here for Heretics? Do you think that Wood just slots in what Patatek was doing before?
I think that I would like to see a different approach, even if the composition stays the same. I think that I still like the Omen Viper. I think that it's something that you have to run, especially if you're comfortable with it. We need to see also some flexibility on the side of Miniboo. Sometimes, even though individually is simply excellent, I think that it needs some variation because KC is the kind of team that is so used to it already. We were talking about the preparation, and if Icebox, yes, probably was a question, and maybe Heretics did not expect it, Lotus was almost a must here.
This is the thing though, do Heretics also change it up to surprise them? Because it feels like the only way that you can maybe get one up on them is like, hey, I know you prepped for a whole week. I know that N's been in the VOD dungeon, but here's Reyna.
No, here's the thing, like last week when they were playing, I believe it was the Sunset, sometimes like they're very good at recognizing when they need to give more and when they can just stay and repeat the same round time after time. Like identifying that is so valuable for them that I only think we will see something outrageous if they feel like they need to show it.
But do they keep the Neon? Because like you said, you know, Miniboo, he's a great player, but I just feel like on the Neon, he's just different, man. He's just in his element.
Different. Yeah, completely. I think that is something that they have to do in both the maps, in both Sunset and Lotus. Just take the best out of the Neon. Honestly, run it and bump yourself onto every single wall that you face, just because if it happens here, you will avoid it from happening in the future.
Well, okay. I mean, there's changes. I mean, Voot is just going to go straight into what Patatek was doing before. There's not really an agent change. But what about the Cypher?
I mean, moving away from the Killjoy is not the end of the world. I still think that the setups for Killjoy Viper are so ridiculously strong for both the defense and the attack for playing post-ban. But in this map, if you want to have a little bit more space, getting that passive information, maybe Magnum has cooked something up. I think that his lurks in the past have been very, very on point, and he feels very comfortable with that.
And for those of people who aren't familiar, Voot has been farming on Viper in the Turkish
League. He's been farming full stop. He's been farming full stop.
He is extremely comfortable here, but this is it. Over to Mitch and Tom and see if Casey can get a map back into the series.
Well, it's time to see if they can put that map on the board and leave Heretics watching some of the future matches to figure out if they're going to playoffs or not. A 2-0 here. What a statement from Heretics it would be. The Cypher on Magnum, Tom. A little bit of a change from Casey. Talk to me on that.
Yeah, I can only assume that this is a mini boot counter. Like, you've got someone who wants to like full sprint into angles and basically try and take as much space as possible. Hey, put a trip in his way. And normally when you have something like a raise, your blast pack might destroy it on the way in, or you can go over a lot of that utility. Mini boot's not going to have that option, so I like that as well. And a lot of their utility isn't even really destructive either.
Hate to ruin any hype here, but it's not Fnatic Navi. In case anyone gets excited back home. The Heretics KC, map 2. We're still rolling with it. And as we saw, right, Lotus, you come in, you're expecting Miniboo to pop off. We've seen it before. We've seen him take that space. I like that Magnum comes in with the adjustment. And for this attacking side, it's going to be a task, dealing with Boo right off rip. And he is out of here, not looking to over-engage as a solo C player. And the paranoia pushes him back towards the B site. So, it looks like a retake after a misread from Heretics. The plant will come through, and the lurk is perfect from Magnum.
That's nice. They tap the door so that he turns around, and then the second you see him try and retreat because he's in such an open position, they have somebody behind. Good start to this one for KC. As now a 5v4 retake is going to have to ensue. Definitely not the easiest, especially with a lot of that utility being dodged by Martin. It's a really awkward fight. And the trade is eventually there. In fact, a lot of them are for the side of KC.
Big play needed to get back in. Mini Boot does well with one, but that's all there is to be found. And, well, hope quickly slipped away. KC 1-0 with the pistol under their belt. Remember, though, last map, I believe they won both pistols. The map still slipped out of their grasp.
I like him. Again, just this sort of double lurk potential. I think as well, you have to bear in mind that this map was picked by Heretics. That means KC gets to start on the attack. When you run a Neon comp, it's definitely going to be difficult. Now, a lot of what Boo is going to be doing is firstly taking space, especially over on the A side of the map, with the stuns, but also just those faster rotations. In this round, he's going to be that solo aggressor, just basically trying to catch somebody as they push the jump up. I don't know if I would have seen him, but never mind. An easy kill for Tombizz in the end.
Yeah, nicely connected. And the benefit of this weapon, obviously, now you can just lock down that range with a reasonable degree of confidence that nobody's going to be able to take that fight up against you.
It's the good thing about making your superstar duelist from a team last year into your Viper player, is you can give him a sniper rifle, he's probably going to land the shot.
Well, that's it. I was thinking during the last map, like realistically, Tombizz, we talked a lot about him. He's a good player and a great duelist, but I think more so is the good player comes first. Able to constantly change up his role for his team, but still pack that punch when it comes to aim duels. Having this on his back should be a nice little benefit. Now, I wasn't expecting him to go towards the door, but with the Prowler to clear everything, you don't run the risk of going straight into a pistol. I think that's often the concern, like having Woot. And we saw it, Sender, I think, is the guy that rings true the most for me. Sitting inside tree with that Viper wall, having a shorty ready to pop once you go through, but the Prowler just eliminates that possibility entirely.
Yeah, I think that has to have been considered as well. When you think of KC, if there was any team that was going to run a Gecko, I think they've been probably the most popular team for using it within EMEA. So the fact that they're opting for the fade in this scenario, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of tight corners that you need to check, a lot of ratty cubbies that people like to play in. For this round, it does look like the remaining players over on Heretics, their only goal is to try and die to that spike.
Yeah, I don't think there's much intention in terms of dueling, standing close to the door and cracking it open. No, in fact, the opponents are going to do that for them. Here comes this spike explosion, the wall up to keep them safe, and there you go. All down to the spike. No orbs for their opponents, no free farming. But KC are going to be happy enough to put 2-0 on the board. And I think they even got an upgraded Marshall, but they're not going to keep it.
Yeah, maybe Narrate could use it, but considering he is the Stinger King, I don't think that he's going to be trading out that weapon anytime soon. And now KC get the opportunity to play a fairly effective bonus round. Still having a couple of rifles, the Outlaw in there as well for Tombizz to try and fight, and you can see this is going to be an all-out brawl towards A.
Straight up fight, stuns from Miniboo off rip. Here's the push on the fast lane, and he's already in past them. They might not expect him to be here this quickly. The stun should give it away. The blast pack to get out of there has worked perfectly. It put Miniboo off his stance. He had no accuracy. He couldn't fight back, and well, that is a convincing brawl for KC with a 4 versus 2, with upgraded weapons, with sight control, and a plant that's near undeniable. Benji, Fishy, and Woot both have had spectacular rounds. They've been lights out. A big clutch ahead of them. Wanting to get this round on the board. They still go for it. Commit their rifles, commit their lives, and Benji already pays that price. Woot, the last man standing. Surprised his team still stepping forward, but no more damage shall be found. 1 kill onto Magnum. And the rest of the squad carries forward free weapons, a stacked economy, and a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like, considering how much was actually sent in there, the stuns as well that left so many players in awkward positions, and the fact the opening kill went the way of Heretics. Well, it was a slippery slope from there, that's for sure. Everything seemed to fall apart.
Oh my. He had no idea where he was.
That's ridiculous. That is failing successfully.
Yeah,
he has fallen up.
Let's go. Tripped up the stairs. Looked stylish doing it. Well, we're back into the game. Barrier's already up, and you can see 3-0 for KC. The attacking side stacked up in terms of guns. Yeah, Heretic's struggling quite a bit. The Marshall comes back out. The Sheriffs to work alongside it. And this contact play from KC is going to be deadly. Prowler already, paranoia, and no way out for Benji. Fishy again. This Outlaw still in play on round 4, and Tom, it's either no shields or light shields. That's the same thing to Tombizz. He'll one-shot you.
Still got to be careful of Woot. I've seen a different Turkish player hit quite a few headshots through these walls. But not this time. Eventually going to be taken down. Again, the expectations of this round are low. Never 0. Rians at least will be able to get 1, but honestly, Tombizz is just farming almost towards his Viper's pit. In fact, they didn't even get the plant. If he'd managed to get that, he would have had it online already.
Yeah, well, in fact, it should be quite easy thinking about the map that's in it. All the Tombizz, the guy's 8-0 right now, by the way. All he has to do is push up and grab an orb. Contesting towards C should be easy, and with an Outlaw in hand, he's been dominating those duels. For Team Heretics, that's a tough one to really find a solution to, because you just got sniped out. Reality is, though, they didn't have the shields. Right? Now they do, at least most players. I see Benji still going to take a little bit of a risk. He will be the one peeking C, but with everybody stacked up outside A, it's another massive brawl on the back of the dash up from Miniboo, and he's emerging from the smoke, but this time they're more than ready on the side of KC.
Yeah, they have been. Even from the early rounds, I think they knew that there was an expectation of this man going aggressive. Trips for behind them as well in case anybody was to push up. They just want that extra information that the turret hasn't really been given as of recent. I think that's been one of the major problems, is not having that range or the field of range of the turret has forced some people into a switch when you know your opponent's going to be aggressive. Even still though, they've lost Narrate. Almost loses life by tapping that button. Even still though, look at where the attackers have managed to get to. The rest aren't going to be able to cross though. Maybe needing to be a little bit more patient. They got past, but without that screen, they've fallen to the Odin.
Well, in the hands of Woot, it seems to be a pretty scary weapon, but he's very low, down to 13 HP, and his help is going to be needed. Spike dropped. but it could be retrievable, if not for Boo. Watching, holding, and dropping Magnum. Martin, the last man standing, looking to cross. Again, one shot to Woot, and he is down. A lot of this round falls into Boo's hands, but never mind. The swing is perfect, and that's a triple kill from Woot with the Odin. Didn't expect to say that one, but hey, I'm happy anyways.
I also just feel like that was a bit more of a misplay from the side of the attack. Like, KC managed to sneak their way through, like get really far forward. Maybe there was the expectation that the opponents weren't watching, but then they didn't utilize the screen to cross for the rest of the players, and they just walked straight into what was a firefight. If they even just waited a little bit, I think they could have caught that rotation, had a perfect surrounding of that A site. Maybe thought they had the jump on them. Wow. They do have the jump on that, man. I'm going to say stop doing that.
Oh, the shorty. Oh, the flash, but never mind. Shin's there. Plans within plans. KC left with a huge advantage to play with. And, well, between Magnum and Woot, I'm in for a good game here, Tom. It is some good spam play. This time straight through smokes, not even the walls that take that. And that's a big problem for Miniboo, because a lot of these rounds have relied on him getting aggressive on A early, and now there's an adjustment there from the attack. The result is clear. 5v3 and C site wide open. Once these nanos fade, there'll be nothing to stop this attacking side from walking in and getting the plant.
Miniboo is definitely taking the, if at first you don't succeed, try again, because it has not been successful whatsoever thus far. Although he's definitely limited to what he can do with this Neon. For the rest of the team, Benji had a great first map, but right now is on the goose egg, yet to get a single kill on that board. But it's been a quiet start from them overall, and I think they've realized they've got to escape. The thing is, though, I think he did get caught. He's currently caught through the wall with that seize, but he is eventually going to be able to escape.
Tim, as you realize, the timing of the round here doesn't look like Heretics are going for it, even after being spotted by the alarm bot. He's going to continue some aggression, but it looks like Heretics are in a safe position. Nobody on the attack quite close enough to take these weapons out of their hands, but they have decided to save. The round committed to KC, 5-1, locked in. And those weapons, short of a major misplay, will be carried through to the next. So at least Heretics get to forget that previous one and come right back into the fray. Miniboo has his ultimate to pad the gap in terms of economy, and they can drop a weapon over to Boo. But, Tom, the question still remains, what is the solution going to be to KC? They have the early spams, they've had the control
Maybe
even without them. You reckon?
Yeah.
I think the A side could be weak.
Succeed.
Let's try it.
Keep running an Odin and getting shot in the face.
But it wasn't even that. You've had players with shorties watching for it up close, like Martin's been a criminal for that. He blast packs through, watches the right side of Rubble, and Shin teleports across and watches the left side. There is just no way in.
Above.
Oh. How's Miniboo getting up there?
Boo. His brother.
I see, okay.
Bigger Boo. Like, he's able
Above
to climb.
and below.
You know, Miniboo's not quite tall enough to get up there, but Boo is.
I see. Hasn't got the speed to ramp it up
You
or
should
anything.
see Giant Boo. He just steps
Oh,
over.
God. Yeah, one day I'm hoping I saw Heisenboo over in Madrid, the bigger brother.
All right.
Let's see if we get him on the server one day. He could have a deadly trio.
They can face off against the Susantos in the future. How many brothers can we get? But either way, 5-1. I think there has to be some variation. And while it does look like Miniboo is building up to go towards this side of the map again, I'm hoping slightly more passive, but again, you're running a Neon. It's the same expectation as the last map. There has to be a level of aggression to what you're going to be running, but it's just been fantastic so far from KC to be able to deny this. I love the cam as well. He's able to spot both sides of aggression with the cam and himself.
Oh, Heretics not pushing on A. And we hear Woot spamming away with the Odin on the other side of the map. The rotation's coming in extremely quickly. Miniboo rotating to the C site. And there's the Prowler in action. Boo tried to hide in the corner, but gets caught. He's trying to teleport back. It's a huge play! You'll never expect this kind of lunacy! But Magnum doubles up nonetheless. The advantage sits with KC when Miniboo falls. And the C site is under threat with the Viper's Pit in play. And Rien's spotted crossing. He has to give it up. Can't commit his life inside of it. No element of surprise to play with, and the ult coming in is going to reveal him even further. This is a tough position to play from now, as getting through that pit, Tom, should be a near impossible task. Both players trapped behind it.
Not a fan of the Odin pushing into the pit play.
I like an Odin in a pit, but more so from
it.
the other side. The ult committed here for Rien's, the flash going through, and the snake bite actually trades. That's a little bit of a disaster. And this is where things really start to fall apart with a cam. Rien's was not ready for. He's being revealed, and he's got to bail. The time now running surely too low. He's come back.
It really is ticking quite fast at this stage, and financially they are in the bin. It would have to be a pretty big blunder from this one, and what Magnum is going to kill him off without too many problems. I don't know. I think maybe holding on to the gun would have had slightly more value there, but hey, Rien's clearly believed.
This is insane. To go straight back into that angle, I can't believe he had the gall to do that. Yeah. That was aggressive TP.
Play. No.
Oh man, I thought the snake bite landed after. It's not that he just went, Viper's Pit? Snake, I can run through that. I'm pretty sure I can run through that. The map did not add up.
And you can see the elation on the face of Eng. Almost smiled for a second.
The day I see that match here, 22 HP. Like Rien's a spot, but KC don't. I'll quickly put that to bed. Yeah, I thought maybe a good little surprise factor with the player in the corner, but nope, not this time. KC are ready for everything.
No charges.
They're doing well to clear out any aggression that's there from KC.
Spike planted.
It really does feel like Heretics have thrown the book at them, pretty much everything they've got, and as of right now, nothing is succeeding. The flanks from the last map of Benji are well noted, but also everybody's playing within their means, within the site, so the first thing he's probably going to get contact with is a cam, which I'll be honest, the Cypher really has had a lot of impact so far, be it Magnum on an individual level or just the utility that he's putting into play to stop them having any level of surprise factor. So ready for that final position, and well, Boo now looking for at least something, but no, and Andaluthia flawless. It almost looks like KC are making these rounds cleaner as they go.
And this is it, Tom. You remember in Icebox when KC were leading by a bit and it was looking like the map was going to be closed out in their favor. We said, don't worry about it. You tried something. It hasn't necessarily worked. It ended up working. But this was the map where we'd realistically expect Heretics to come in and, well, look a whole lot better. Look a lot stronger. But instead, KC had the read from go. And I think a lot of this comes down to Miniboo not being able to play in his comfort zone, not being able to take those aggressive stances in the way that they've planned, in the ways that have worked for them again and again. Flash up, and that's the showstopper. Landing on the Boo, landing on the Rien's. But even despite that, with 6 HP, he's able to fire back, take down Martine, trade out Boo, and leave Heretics with still somewhat of a chance.
Even still, though, it's debate. And Magnum's actually the one to land the shot. Woot, though, has done well. Again, he's been one of the glimmers of hope. In the one round they won, it was down to him, and this Odin narrate is trying to be cheeky. He's run straight through the util. Almost manages both, but not quite the shot onto Woot. And now it's left all onto Shin, but the swing is met with an instant response. Woot the hero again, but I don't know if that's repeatable. It looks like another blip on the radar.
No idea what you're talking about, Tom. That is textbook Odin play right there from Woot. Beautiful stuff. The wall bang on the third kill as well.
To do something in 2 rounds, but not in the other 7. That's the typical Odin player.
No, Tom,
that does sound like you, to be honest.
Hold on. Whoa. Listen, they don't always come to his site, okay? Retake him with this weapon.
I got a wall bang in round 3. I haven't had a kill in 8 rounds, but that's beside the point.
Slander, Tom, slander. Listen, I've been climbing that rank ladder. You don't diss this play, okay? Woot knows where it's at. 7 and 6. Really starting to heat up on that Odin. And here's a spray. Can't see a damn thing with that wall in the way. But that's the idea. He wanted to damage them on the cross. He hasn't succeeded.
They've had to pull an immediate rotation. KC may not have won the last round, but they're not shying away from this. Spams not able to connect just yet. He's definitely a little bit wary. Might just be surrounded, paranoia thrown through, but not connecting anything. And, well, it's almost the shorty to do the work. Immediately overdrive put into play, but Martine lands the shot and a second as well. The remaining 2 players just too far away. And with their finances almost at absolute 0. I think they're just going to have to save this one. You'd think, but then again, we saw Rien's go for a round, which I thought they had no hope in a moment ago, so maybe they're going to try it again.
A part of me almost thinks Banshee's going to ult based on the rounds we've seen before, but 2v4, it's not the time for it, and there isn't time for it. That clock ticking away as the spike gets ever closer. The trap will be destroyed up close, but so will Benji at the end of the day, going through a Viper's wall on his own. The win rate on that is not that high. And at least Boo's able to cross. He's sticking around for damage.
Cover going out.
Damage that I don't think is really going to be felt by the side of KC, even if it is found, but they don't expect him to still be here. Opportunity to drop a few.
It's even worse.
But yeah, I think he's made the right call. Like I say, a kill or two, if they punish you, well, Heretics would feel the weight of that much more than KC would.
He's got his ult. It's not even the most impactful anyway. And his opponents are going to get orbs for it. So if he killed Narrate, for example, you'd give him Nightfall, and if he turns around and kills you exactly the same, and you don't have the gun for the next round, the value just really wasn't there. And that's why I'm surprised they went for the 2v4. Like, honestly, you've thrown another gun. I think it might just be a moment of, okay, well, we have to get some rounds, otherwise we're screwed. We've got to try something, but it does look like the only real semblance of hope so far has been Woot winning in 2 rounds. But he doesn't have an Odin this round.
Well, that's it. If the Odin doesn't pop off, you don't win, and ultimately that's how the game should go.
Right.
KC, 8 rounds as they look to take over this A site. It's stacked up, but it's stacked up with pistols. Boo here to support, but they haven't committed to the site just yet. Instead, keeping these ranged fights, picking them off one at a time, and when Boo eventually gets a chance to fight, he's got no comrades to pick up that weapon, no one to swing with him, no one to take the brunt of that execute. Only Benji left, and, well, in a familiar position, smoked out, and he is out of the round. 3K for Magnum, 9 rounds for KC. And I did say, you know, they won both pistols last map and they didn't win. Well, now it was a 4-0 lead. This is 9-2 with one more. I would say looking unlikely, right? Heretics have 4 ults to play with, Tom. That's got to be worth something.
It would also make a nice little pattern, you know? 4 rounds in a round win, 3 rounds in a round win, 2 rounds in a round win. It's really pretty. That would be nice. Let's complete the pattern and give the Heretics fans at least the 9-3 curse. Because right now, KC are looking really clean, and they're not actually having to change too much. They're continuously pressuring this A site, and guess what? Heretics are going to try and fight them for it. But even with all the utility they're throwing in, their over-aggression or their very aggressive plays haven't been successful. Cam already going to give them information, but not a mass amount. There is someone tree, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, just the timing on the door as well, that they can't follow up on it. Narrate ready to go to grab that information. I like this. Look at the amount he'll be able to glean from this. 4 players spotted for sure. They have the info. There's no need to commit. And it's time to make a move. What? He committed it! I thought for sure he'd cancel, but they can't hear. He knew the sound cues were lost on them. And Shin rolling over the site. 3 kills with Benji Fishy. In the same old story. No smoke separating them this time at least, but players all around, and now they've got the exact location. 3 rounds for Heretics would be something, but it ain't happening today. 10-2 we go. I cannot believe they saw 4 players there, Tom, and they commit. I thought at the last second he's going to cancel, but Knight goes all the way.
I just think it's no one turns around and looks at him for obvious reasons. They can't hear a thing. Every single player hit by the Nightfall. And this is the version of KC that we love to see. So synergized in the way that they're doing things. So committed to the choices that they make. 10-2. What a dominant attack side we've just seen out of them. Now they head into the defense. Granted, that was where Foot was able to disrupt them with their unique comp. But, well, it's going to have to be something incredibly spectacular from the side of Heretics to turn this around. And bear in mind, if they even lose a map, they will not make it to playoffs today. They would be more reliant on, I think it's Gentlemates not winning 2-0. You don't want to be in that position. You want your life in your own hands.
Yeah, you don't want to rely on Logan losing for you to get through. Let me tell you, that's not a foolproof formula. Little plant coming in, Mini Boo up top, love the position. We see a lot of value from this spot as players often don't check it on the way through. And even now you're seeing no one's there from our team's perspective. Okay, you start looking elsewhere for fights. Mini Boo just has to choose his moment correctly to take that swing. It's Benji Fishy to fall though. Heretics numbers thinning out, and KC, they've been so good in these fights, and their pistols as well, yet to lose one. But Heretics step it up this time around. 3 kills from Miniboo, and they found themselves a pistol.
Yeah, it's a lifeline, that's for sure. Already seeing the value that this guy can have switching up. We had it in the last map, it was the other way around, where he had a bit of a poor attack side, pulled it back on the defense. This would have to be far more impressive. As last time they went in even. Definitely didn't go in with an 8-round, now 7-round deficit.
Well, if KC win this one, they'll be in a partnership with Foot in no time. Excited to see this approach the attack side from Heretics. Fast lane used right away for the cross, and as you can see, no congestion from KC. In fact, sitting way, way back. The flash won't catch them to begin with, and the key thing is, if that Dizzy goes past the choke, doesn't get shot immediately, it's gonna see 3, maybe I think 4 players within sight. Before he ends to throw it there, he'd be committing to losing it.
Cover going out.
Or having to commit to the fight. That info could be so valuable right now that the only way I see KC winning this round is if Heretics go blindly pushing into the pistols, and the alarm bells have got to be ringing. No Cypher util, no traps. Nothing whatsoever here, and no player defending it. Why would the C site be that open? And they've made the right call. It's because this site is stacked on the other side, and Woot, wise to avoid this fight. It looks like he will back off.
I thought for a second he was going to take the ball.
So did I. So did I. Guys,
just
no one
walks
see?
in like flexing, like, yeah.
They won't expect me to walk up.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to have my Viper's pit soon.
He could have a great opportunity to cut off the rotates, I suppose, but it's not worth it in these rounds, right? If they had rifles, if this was round number 15, maybe he does that, but not against the classics. They just overwhelm you. Right call made by Heretics, plan secured. Now they just have to hold on against a classic retake, if it's even attempted.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see Rians, well, we already do. Rians get a little bit more aggressive. He's 2 away from his ult already. Only has a ghost to play with. So even if he gets a kill and dies, that is value. Even if he just dies, to be honest. 1 away, he's actually going to get nothing. That's a little bit unfortunate. Now it looks like it might be Benji's turn. Only with the Sheriff. These are guns that can be committed, can be thrown in. It's not too much of a problem. The rest look to try and die to the spike. And you know what? They've done well there. They've denied at least any of their players getting a mass amount of orbs. They'll remove a couple of extra pistols and they'll all go down to the spike. It's about as good as it could have got for KC there. And even still, Rians is going to be 1 away from his ultimate and have a rifle going into this now.
Well, that's the big thing, right? Having Thrash online could clear them a lot of space, could get them on the board, cripple KC's economy, and really open the door for Heretics to start their run back. Don't let me confuse you. It's nowhere close to an easy run, but it is doable. We've seen it before, much to my chagrin. From 10 to 2 down. Let's see what Heretics have. We don't want to... normally you come into these rounds and go, yeah, well, they should lose it, so it's fine. They can't approach it like that. Not with such a thin margin for error on this side.
Yeah. This is like trying to run the total wipeout course. You're just trying to make your way across the big red balls.
Yeah.
And
big purple ones here.
You think you're getting close, and then you faceplant into the water. That's currently what we're looking at. They're at the first one.
Yeah.
They may have a grin on their face, but it could very quickly be wiped off, especially now there is a purchase on the other side. Utility available, Magnum being left as that solo A-site defender. But he has been superb. Seeing him back on the Sentinel is always exciting. Even though Tombizz has been nothing to frown upon. And that's the thing, they have a lot of intel coming from him and the Fade, and then a lot of delay in combination with the Viper. That is just a little bit of spam that's got rid of Rians. He's got his ult online now, Mitch.
It's there to work with in the next round. Unfortunately, not going to help them out too much here. But Heretics not giving up on the round. 30 seconds. Sight set on B. Door broken. The push comes through. KC hear it. Steps are heard. The walk back coming through from Woot. He tries to take a little bit of extra space. Maybe a late lurk to come through or just to keep that side control. Heretics, though, right now they're watching every push through. At some point, they're going to have to make a move, try to isolate some of these players before they pincer correctly. Woot might get impatient Why hasn't that player moved up on A? And eventually he will. Catching Wood off guard. Boo now stuck up close. They know they're spamming. He's 8 HP, stuck in the corner and dropped. All down to Benji, who will fall to. Fantastic retake from KC. The patience as they ran down that clock. And I think that's what got the better of Heretics.
Yeah, that kill on Woot was basically the turning point. He had an aggressive position, he gets rid of Magnum, and the round could fall apart for the defensive side, but that is the thing, as said, when KC play their best Valorant, they're just so good at sort of taking their time, using their utility as well as humanly possible. You can even see players being blinded by the paranoia. Every single piece was perfect, methodical from them. And for Heretics, as I said, it relied on somebody stepping up and finding them an individual fight in that post-spawn. Unfortunately, with the early battle not going their way. They do now have Thrash. They also still have a buy, so it's not the end of the world, but you kind of would have hoped they take that round and, well, it's not started too poorly. They're going to continue this fight for Mount, and eventually it goes the way of Heretics.
Yeah, Thrash did well to draw their eye. 4 versus 2. No. Okay, listen. On the way through, we saw KC consistently have Prowlers because of this man narrate being so close.
He's got to use Thrash though, right? Come on.
Thrash is online. It's not a Prowler, but it's close.
He's got a Thrash, he's
all
got
he has to do
he's
is
got Wingman.
Check the left side on the way through the swing. It's perfect. Thank God Wu was ready for that. That could have been an absolute disaster. It still could be with Magnum here, but they seem to be aware of the possibility. The reality, though, could catch them off guard. Is Magnum far enough forward? They haven't seen him just yet. The swing is good. The kill is great. A second and a third to close it. Just one man between him and the info about to fall into his hands. He's seen Benji. He knows he's towards the back in the reposition here from Magnum. Nice angle. Will Benji spot it? He's still down below, 30 seconds on the clock. He's not in a rush, moving to the boxes. The jump up here from Benji could win it.
30 seconds left.
Just needs to see the tip of the head, just that little shorter without the hat on it. And Magnum sneaks his way under the door open. But the challenge, as it's being held, Magnum won't catch the angle. Okay, looks like Benji's got himself a plant, has to break open that door, but very little that can be done to stop it. There are a couple of traps in the way. No way they slow him down enough, though. It will quickly be broken. The second one as well. 7 seconds, and there you go. Just about enough time. Magnum sprinting his way in. In fact, trying to interrupt, and he has! He's pulled him off this plant! And the time has run out! What a disaster for Heretics, left on 4 rounds! This could have been the clutch to ignite the fire under them. Instead, they're looking extinguished. 8 in a row, needed double what they currently have.
Oh, we've seen that exact clutch earlier in the season from Benji, where he lets go of the spike, insta-pops the head of his opponent. Instead, this time out, it is that Red Bull clutch, and Magnum, what a performance from him. 18 and 5. I've said it many a time, like, he has switched up roles for this team to give other players opportunities, put them on more comfortable roles, and right now, back in his element, 18 and 5. Unstoppable. And 1 round away from taking this to a 3rd map. And who's going to stop them now? I don't know if Heretics have got anything left in the tank, although Boo is trying his damnedest.
I got the spike.
It's a good start. They still haven't dealt with Tombizz. Right now, they know there's a second player here, too. Narrate ready to peek on the back of the Prowler. Benji, though, through the Prowler, finds his kill. Narrate trapped in the open and dropped as well. Benji might not have gotten a chance to close out that last round, but he won't let go of this one. It's Magnum again. Somehow I feel that plant will be committed.
Yeah. He won a 1v3 just seconds ago. I wouldn't even mind seeing the lockdown committed here. But he's already quite far ahead of it. Timing going to be everything. Looking for a spot over the top. Hoping for an angle to find, but they're both sat together at the back of the site. Already the information is to be had. Going to try and go back and see if anybody is taking a peek, but they are not moving. They are not giving this man an inch. And Woot will land that shot this time. Not going to strike twice, but even still, I don't even think they made it to the second big red ball yet.
Well, Heretics have done well, having Boo bail them out of that position. Benji on his double as well. So important to open that side up for them. The 2v2 could have gone any way, but they played the 2v1 perfectly. 7 in a row needed for Heretics. My God, what a path back in. You can't help but wonder, at what point will KC just pop off, reawaken? Magnum had one hell of a slow start on the previous map, but 18-6. Looks damn near unstoppable. And his utility this time set up towards the A site. Camera waiting for them to walk through. But Heretics aren't picking up the pace. Instead, relying on Benji lurking out on C to potentially find space late into the round, Tom. We've seen this a couple of times. Break some util and play it slow. I'm not expecting them to go pushing forward. Where's Woot off to?
Gotta be careful. That's a 1v1. That's a bit of an overcommitment with very little info. Narrate now into the corner as well, and they have no update on that cam just yet. That's coming soon. And look at that from our team!
Down A.
This is all falling apart. A blitz that could just end it. The showstopper. He's even taken himself out. He knew it was too dangerous to be kept alive. And while Benji, he's just witnessed a loss to a 1v3, now to do one better. But look at these positions, look at the aggressive spot, he's not going to expect it, and in the end, it is an instant resurgence from Carmine Core. 13-5 domination on their opponent's map.
They won both pistols on their own pick, and it ended up going close, but falling into Heretics' hands this time. A closer affair in that regard, and only that regard. Domination from KC with map 3 up next. We're settling the score on Bind.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.